Diets and food nutrients constitute one of the major and lifelong environmental exposures influencing human health. One of the diets with the best influence on health is the Mediterranean diet. The Mediterranean diet has been associated in studies throughout the world with a healthier lifestyle. This diet, with a long tradition in countries such as Spain, Greece, Italy, Morocco, and Croatia, comprises a set of traditions and symbols related to agricultural crops, fishing, and animal husbandry, as well as how to cook and consume foods that make it very special. The Mediterranean diet combines everyday life aspects such as physical activity, culture, and traditions with the aspects of a healthy dietary pattern, including the sustainability, preparation, and consumption of traditional foods, which are on the whole fresh and grown seasonally and locally. Thus, the Mediterranean diet symbolizes a holistic approach of living. In 2010, the Mediterranean diet was declared an intangible cultural heritage of humanity by the UNESCO. This organization dictates that the Mediterranean diet consists of a set of skills, knowledge, rituals, symbols, and traditions related to crops, harvesting, fishing, animal husbandry, conservation, processing, cooking, and in particular, the exchange and consumption of food. Eating together is the foundation of cultural identity and the continuity of communities throughout the Mediterranean basin. It is a time of exchange and social communication, an affirmation and the renewal of a family, the group, or the identity of the community. The Mediterranean diet emphasizes values of hospitality, neighborhood, intercultural dialogue, and creativity, and a way of life guided by respect for diversity. It plays a vital role in cultural spaces, festivals, and celebrations, bringing together people of all ages, conditions, and social classes. It includes crafts and the production of traditional containers for the transport, preservation, and consumption of food, including ceramic plates and glasses. Women in particular play an important role in transmitting knowledge about the Mediterranean diet. Their techniques are safeguarded and respected for the seasonal rhythms and festive events, and they transmit the key values of the diet to new generations. Markets also play a key role, spaces for the cultivation and transmission of the Mediterranean diet and the daily practice of exchange, agreement, and mutual respect. The core food groups of the Mediterranean diet are fish and plant foods, more specifically vegetables, fruits, legumes, nuts, and olive oil. This dietary pattern provides several phytochemicals, high levels of fiber and oleic acid, vitamins B2, B6, C, and E, adequate folate, carotenoids, flavonoids, and polyphenols, as well as a low glycemic load and the balanced ratio of omega-6 essential fatty acids. The Mediterranean diet is therefore considered as a holistic, beneficial dietary pattern.
The traditional Mediterranean diet is characterized by a high intake of olive oil, fruit, nuts, vegetables, and cereals, a moderate intake of fish and poultry, a low intake of dairy products, red meat, processed meats, and sweets, and wine in moderation consumed with meals. In observational cohort studies and the secondary prevention trial, the Leon Diet Herd Study is increasing adherence to the Mediterranean diet has been consistently beneficial with respect to cardiovascular risk.
The prevalence of non-communicable diseases is constantly increasing and appears to occur at a younger age, influencing consequently the well-being at the individual level as well as at the global, social, and economic scale. Currently, a Mediterranean-like diet is recommended by governmental agencies as the ideal dietary pattern to be followed by the general population in order to maintain healthy status and to potentially lower the risk for the development of the most common non-communicable diseases. The protective dietary effects of the Mediterranean diet against risk for disease development can be attributed to the fact that it is a well-balanced diet, characterized by a number of antioxidant, anti-inflammatory, and anti-carcinogenic nutrients contained in the core food groups. Several nutrigenetic studies support the hypothesis that the exerted protective effects of the traditional Mediterranean diet on health may be mediated by the genetic background of individuals. Evidence from the findings of the following studies indicates that a high adherence to the Mediterranean diet can be very effective in neutralizing the genetic-related risk of complex diseases, such as incidence of stroke or type 2 diabetes. Regarding heart disease, a series of 2014 PREDIMED studies revealed that the Mediterranean diet can modulate the negative effects associated with the gene related to the incidence of stroke. In diabetes, an intergenetic study by Corella on the incidence of type 2 diabetes found out that the protective effect of the minor G allele on the type 2 diabetes incidence was greater in the Mediterranean diet intervention group rather than in the control group, alluding to its preventive effects. Also concerning diabetes, a study by Ortega and Azorin in 2012 found that participants with low adherence to the Mediterranean diet presented a higher risk of developing type 2 diabetes. These findings therefore suggest that the Mediterranean diet can counteract the genetic predisposition of type 2 diabetes. In the topic of obesity, a study by Roswell in 2014 on the relation between Mediterranean diet and obesity reports that a higher score of Mediterranean diet consumption was associated with a decreased risk of being a weight gainer and decreased